guys, in today's video, I'll be covering how to sleep better with anxiety, and you'll learn 3 key things that you can start using right away to help alleviate your anxiety, not only at night, but also throughout your entire day as well. Make sure you stay till the end of this video because I'll be sharing with you how you can get access to a free training where we really dive even deeper into how to completely overcome sleep anxiety altogether. My name is Meredith from meredithloudon.com, and as a former insomniac myself, I dealt with anxiety at night for over 12 years. And it was really to the point where I wouldn't get much sleep at all, only a couple of hours every single night. Everything that I talk about is from my own personal experience, and so I can really vouch for how effective the tips that I'll be covering in this video really are. So if you're ready to feel less anxious and get more sleep, go ahead and hit the like button and keep watching. The first point that I'd like to make about how to sleep better with anxiety is around the term anxiety itself and how we've really been conditioned to think of anxiety as a negative thing. So my first tip is to try not to label your anxiety as bad. Instead, try to consider the possibility that anxiety isn't inherently bad, but it's rather neutral instead. Anxiety gets a really bad rap, and I get it, of course it does. It's because of the way that we feel when we're experiencing anxiety. Stress levels in the body increase, which leads to feelings of nervousness, worry, tension, and you feeling like you're on high alert, which is quite uncomfortable. And the reason that this happens is because the brain thinks it needs to prepare you to respond to an intense situation. So it's releasing adrenaline. So really, your body is doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing. From that perspective, anxiety isn't bad necessarily. The only issue here is that you're not actually under as intense of a threat as what your brain is perceiving. So the brain is operating based on what it learned during early human evolution, and it's really working from a place of survival. Your brain might think that there's a lion or some predator outside of your cave ready to come eat you, but I'm gonna assume that most of you watching this video don't live in caves with predators of the animal kingdom, hunting you for food on a regular basis. But your brain doesn't really take that into consideration because the brain's ultimate goal is to keep you alive and to protect you. And so it's really putting you on high alert just in case you need to fight or flight. So when you're feeling anxious at night and trying to sleep, what you need to do is try to remind yourself that anxiety thinks it's helping you. And it might sound silly, but if you can remember that when you're feeling anxious, it can help make the situation a bit lighter and easier to deal with. And when you're able to make it not so heavy anymore, that's exactly how you can get rid of the anxious feelings. So what I would like you to consider is that anxiety isn't necessarily a bad thing. Of course, it isn't going to feel great if you stay stuck in that anxious state for too long. So that's why I really try to emphasize in my videos on how to really regain your power back over anxiety so that you can ultimately overcome it and not have to deal with anxiety in your everyday life. And really, the first step in that direction is to consider anxiety as neither good nor bad. It's just neutral. It's just whatever. It just pops up to the surface sometimes. And if you can bring yourself to not hate anxiety so much and not condemn it, this really removes some of the emotion from it. And if you do this enough, you'll likely see that your anxiety isn't as bad anymore and that you really have more of a handle on it to the point where it's not running your whole life. Now, the next thing that is more specifically related to nighttime and more directly linked to falling asleep is to give your mind something positive to focus on during the last few hours of your day. So that also means avoiding things that might trigger you or might make you start thinking about all of the things in your life that are going on or that have to get done. Nighttime is the worst time to plan your day. It's the worst time to think about the future or to try to solve any problems. So it's really important to avoid social media and the news. Also, especially avoid anything work-related or family-related if you have a stressful family dynamic that you're dealing with. Avoid anything that just makes you start to worry about your life. And instead, intentionally use your evenings to just enjoy being alive. Your evenings, I really like to treat them as the time to just relax and focus on feeling good about myself. And that can look like, going on a short walk after dinner to get some fresh air, watching, a lighthearted TV show that puts you in a good mood and makes you laugh, reading a book, playing with your dog. Maybe you love to do your skincare routine or take a bath or whatever. There's so many peaceful activities that you can do in the evening, and it's even better better if you make a list of those options ahead of time so that you don't forget them. With anxiety especially, I find that it really helps if you intentionally give your mind something else to focus on, because if you don't, then it's just way too easy to, pick up your phone and start scrolling through social media, which has a lot of toxicity in it. Even if you don't notice that you feel worse when you're looking at social media, subconsciously, it can actually have a very negative effect on your mood. Same thing with the news. So make sure to really dedicate your evenings to yourself and remove all of the external noise of society and of people in your life that stress you out. Another tip I have to help you sleep better with anxiety is to actually stop identifying with anxiety altogether. This is what I would say is the end goal, because when you can stop claiming anxiety as a part of who you are, that is when anxiety starts to fade away much more quickly. Whenever you claim anxiety as a part of your identity, and when you're saying to yourself, I have anxiety, when you say it that way, it sounds quite permanent and your brain is listening. This is something that isn't talked about enough. Your brain is paying attention to the language that you're using. And so if you keep insisting that you have anxiety, your brain is just gonna go, okay, great, here is more anxiety. So over the long term, do your best to not declare that anxiety is a part of you. Anxiety isn't permanent and you can reclaim your power over it. But as long as you're reinforcing the thought that you have anxiety, well, anxiety is going to stick around. Instead, try looking at anxiety as temporary and that you're in the process of moving through it and moving past it. If you are really struggling with insomnia and have a hard time falling asleep on a regular basis, then the biggest thing that I can recommend is to watch my new free training that I made that you can watch online. And it's where we really dive deep into the biggest insomnia mistakes that completely sabotage your ability to fall asleep. And you can watch that free training by going to meredithloudon.com/sleep. And I'll also put that link in the description box below. So to sleep better with anxiety, remember to view your anxiety as neutral instead of bad. Use your evenings to focus on yourself, avoid all of the external noise of society and family, and really reinforce that anxiety is temporary. It's not a part of who you are and it will pass. So let me know which of these tips is your favorite in the comments, and also go ahead and share your own anxiety or insomnia tips so that our community here on YouTube can learn and really help each other out. As always, if this video helps you in any way, make sure to subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell if you want notifications, and give this video a thumbs up so that more people can find it, and together we can all help each other get rid of anxiety and get more sleep. I will link up some of my other top videos on how to overcome anxiety and insomnia over here. Over here. And so those would be really great ones to watch next. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.